The special Outlander shoot was kept top secret. It was just the senior crew, a few trusted assistants and two central figures, Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe. Everyone thought it was just a photo shoot to promote the new season, until the backstage door gently closed. A lighting staff accidentally heard Sam whisper to Caitriona, "Are you sure? If this gets out, they'll lose control." Caitriona didn't answer right away. She just looked at him for a long time, her eyes filled with tension and something hard to name. When she was about to speak, the assistant director walked in. The atmosphere was as if it was suffocating. While changing clothes, the photographer was asked to check the lighting first. But he froze when he saw Sam standing so close to Caitriona that the distance was almost zero. Sam's voice dropped, enough to make the person standing outside the closet hold his breath. "If they ask, we have to give the same answer. We can't let anyone see any loopholes." Caitriona pursed her lips, then suddenly put her hand on his shoulder. "Sam, if the fans find out, everything will explode." That statement made many people in the crew imagine a series of possibilities: secret contract, internal conflict, or something beyond the scope of work. A young makeup assistant accidentally opened the wrong door. She was stunned when she saw Sam holding Caitriona's wrist, their eyes facing each other, tense as if just one wrong sentence would make both of them lose control. The door was pulled shut immediately, but in those short 5 seconds, rumors began to form. Early in the afternoon, an anonymous message appeared in the stylist group. If everyone knew that Sam and Caitriona were hiding it, fans wouldn't be able to stand it. Someone immediately replied. What was that? That they were re-signing the contract? Or, that private matter? No one continued, but everyone understood. These were no longer the harmless rumors of the past. When the shoot ended, Sam walked out first. Caitriona followed a few minutes later. But someone saw him leave his prop ring in his room, something he always wore to maintain his character image. A stylist exclaimed. He never takes it off, unless something big is happening. In the corner, Caitriona quietly adjusted her hair, but her hands were shaking visibly. No one knew what was being hidden. But everyone felt something was about to explode. And when it was revealed, fans wouldn't believe what they were hearing. The promotional shoot seemed normal, but the atmosphere between Sam and Caitriona was completely different. From the moment they entered the backstage, they almost avoided each other's eyes, but every time they accidentally met, they both paused, hesitating as if they were hiding a secret that no one was allowed to know. Sam walked closer to Caitriona while everyone was busy checking the lighting. No one noticed, but the distance between them was just enough for a breath to touch each other. His voice was low, reserved only for her. Are you really okay? If they find out, things won't be the same anymore. Caitriona looked at him for a few seconds, her eyes both gentle and tense. She didn't answer right away. Instead, her hand rested lightly on his shoulder, as a way to reassure him but also as a moment of weakness that couldn't be hidden. Sam, if the fans know, they'll be shocked. Not just them, the whole crew won't let it go either. He frowned slightly but didn't step back. There was a heavy silence, then his eyes softened, as if trying to hold onto their own secret. They separated as soon as the assistant director entered, but some of the crew had already begun to notice something was wrong. A young stylist had accidentally opened the wrong dressing room and was stunned for a brief moment. Sam was holding Caitriona's wrist, and she didn't resist, just looked straight into his eyes as if she were in the middle of an irreversible decision. The door closed immediately, but the assistant's shocked gaze was enough for a rumor to form silently. And when the first anonymous message appeared in the internal group, the atmosphere became chaotic in a way that no one dared to say directly. If people knew they were hiding it, the fans would definitely go crazy. No one asked what it was. But in the eyes of those present backstage that day, what was hidden was more than just work. At the end of the show, Sam walked out first, looking a little awkwardly calm. Only Caitriona was left in the room, looking at herself in the mirror, trying to fix her makeup, but her hands were still shaking. And someone noticed that Sam had left his prop ring, which he rarely took off, on the table near her. A crew member whispered, "He only does that when his emotions are mixed up." Last time was when the kiss scene was not in the script and they had to reshoot it 3 times. This time, no one knew what had just happened behind closed doors. But everyone felt one thing clearly: it was not a normal rumor. It was not acting chemistry. It was not fanservice. It was the emotions they had tried to bury for too long, and now they were waiting to break the limit. The quiet afternoon seemed to stop when Caitriona walked out of the makeup room, her hand gently stroking her messy hair. Sam stood near the door, his eyes following her every move. No one said anything, no one dared to interrupt, but the atmosphere was as thick as an electric charge, making each member of the crew feel their hearts ache. Caitriona tried to smile at a few colleagues, but her eyes always glanced at Sam, not by accident. Every time their eyes met, they paused, as if time had frozen. A moment too long to be considered normal. After a few shots, when everyone left to prepare for the evening, Sam approached her again. The space was filled with only the sound of footsteps and Caitriona's light scent, enough to make Sam frown slightly. He leaned down, his voice low but loud enough for only her to hear. "Kate, do you know how fast my heart beats, every time I see you like this?" Caitriona paused, then sighed softly. She knew she had to be careful with her words, but the long-held resentment finally overcame her. "Sam, we shouldn't, but..." Her voice trailed off, broken by a jumble of emotions. Sam didn't say anything more, just moved closer. The distance between them was almost zero. Their scent, warmth, and heartbeats made them both fall into a world of their own, where light, sound, and everyone around them disappeared. She felt Sam's hand brush against her fingers, both embarrassed but not retreating. In those few seconds, Caitriona saw herself, standing before Sam, not Claire, not a character, just Caitriona, and it was both sweet and terrifying. Sam did the same. He looked at her with eyes both intense and gentle, as if promising something they both knew, but neither dared to say. They stood there, almost next to each other, neither daring to say more. But the eyes, the breath, and the distance were enough for fans to imagine a series of scenarios. This was no longer on-screen chemistry, this was the truth, a relationship that, if revealed, would shock the world. Then, Caitriona's phone vibrated. She scrolled through the notifications, frowning. Sam saw that the phone number displayed was from a famous fan page. In an instant, both of them realized that their secret could not be kept any longer. Sam gently held her hand, but said nothing, only giving her a message: "It's okay. We will handle it together." They retreated into the studio together, trying to act casual, but every gesture, every accidental touch was filled with meaning. The crew sensed it but didn't understand what was happening, just a tense, mesmerizing energy that no one could ignore. When the shoot ended, Sam and Caitriona walked to their separate cars, walking side by side but not touching. Both of their minds were filled with questions. What if the fans found out? Can we keep this a secret? But at the same time, they knew that what had blossomed in the short hours today would be hard to hide. The car pulled out of the parking lot, leaving its taillights behind. But in both of their hearts, a dangerous and seductive feeling had begun to burn. An unnamed relationship, just enough to shock fans, but also enough for Sam and Caitriona to understand that they are entering a forbidden area, where love, secrets and emotions intersect. And no one can predict the ending. And right then, in Sam's phone, a message came from a big fan page. "You won't believe what we just heard." Sam looked at Caitriona, both of them held their breath. They knew the limit was near, and what was about to happen could turn everything upside down.